Lewis Ritson loses a 12-round split decision to Francesco Patera, his first loss of his professional career in his 18th fight. It was in his hometown of Newcastle. The crowd were unhappy at the decision, the fact that Patera beat him. I wasn't unhappy with the decision. I thought it was a fair decision. Lewis Ritson came out in the early rounds, stalking, applying pressure. He says that he was then hit with a body shot, I think he said in the fourth, which changed the whole fight in his eyes. That's his explanation of it anyway. And that he never really recovered fully from that body shot early in the fight. And that hindered his performance. I mean, maybe there's some truth to that. Or maybe maybe it's a case of a more mobile, more active, more skilled opponent just outboxing him. Because that's what I saw. The left uppercut from Patera was particularly impressive. His combination punching was impressive. Lewis Ritson was saying in his corner and also after the fight that most of Patera's punches were hitting gloves. I mean, yeah, sure, some of them were hitting gloves, but that left uppercut was getting through plenty of times. And Lewis Ritson is lucky, to be honest with you, that Patera is not a puncher. I mean, let's have a look at, Patera 7 KOs in 20 fights. But a skilled fighter. That's what I will say. It's actually the first time I've ever seen Patera fight. And he's got, several losses here. But he was skilled for this level. Okay, as I say, nice combination punching ability, nice movement, good work rate. And the left uppercut was landing time and time again. And he made Lewis Ritson look very, very one-dimensional. And a guy like Ritson, who's been getting all these early knockouts, as you see, they can fall in love with their power. They can start to believe in their power a little too much, to the point where they neglect to develop other aspects of their game. This is always the danger when you're dealing with a puncher. Okay, let's say you're training or managing a puncher. When they're getting all these early knockouts, they'll go to the gym and they train with the belief that all they need to do is touch you on the chin once and you're in trouble. But they will sooner or later find out that that is not the case for all their opponents. And there are some guys, you touch them on the chin and nothing happens. And then what? The opponent has got certain skills that you don't. So Ritson's head movement, non-existent. Ritson's ability to cut off the ring was relatively poor. His ability to read what his opponent was doing and react and make evasive moves, preemptive moves, his ability to do that was lacking. So he'll go back to the drawing board. He's a young man, 25 years of age, needs to develop the other aspects of his game. That's what he needs to do. He's got a big following in Newcastle. And hey, it was a competitive fight. It's a fight I think Patera won, but it was a competitive fight. It's not the end of the world. He wasn't completely obliterated and destroyed. And you would hope not against this level of opponent, because Patera, he's got some nice skills, but this is not someone who's moving and shaking at world level. I think with the right strategy and the right type of training, Lewis Ritson would be able to beat a Patera. Okay, I think he's got the physical strength and the punching power and what have you to do it, but he needs the skill. He needs to develop the skill to be able to do it. I know he's never going to be the most skilled fighter in the world, but he can improve upon the skills he has now. And this loss will help him to reassess and look at boxing in a different light. It'll either make him or break him. And from the perspective of the Newcastle fans, hopefully it will make him. We'll see. He was hurt several times in the later rounds by body shots from Patera, who followed up to the head, but again, not a puncher, wasn't able to drop Ritson or get him out of there. Ritson's lucky for that, but most punchers, most guys who would be able to hurt Lewis Ritson, they don't have the speed or the combination punching ability of a Patera. That has to be said. So, yeah. Anyway, let me know what you guys felt about Ritson's performance. Were you disappointed? What did you think of the scores? How far do you think Lewis Ritson can go? I mean, he wasn't really expected to go that far. So, building up this following in his hometown and getting all these early knockouts, it's been a little bit of a Cinderella man story, right? Even though he was unbeaten the whole time, a bit of a Cinderella man story because not many people had heard of him prior to building up this knockout streak. So, him winning a world title at some stage in his career might be considered overachieving. Do any of you guys reckon he could get to that position at some point? He's 25 years old, bear in mind. So, he's got at least, 5, 6, 7 years left in the game. Possibly longer, but I'm talking about the average for a fighter. You know, once they get to their early 30s, that's when a lot of fighters are a bit worse for wear and a bit over the hill. Some fighters obviously can go on late 30s and still have great success, and even early 40s, but the majority of fighters by their early 30s, they're looking a bit ropey by then. So let's say Ritson has got another 5, 6, 7 years to win a version of a world title. Can he do it? You let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, or will he just be consigned to British/European level for the whole of his career? Let me know. It's happening. I'm out.
Join me on Patreon. I upload a minimum of 2 podcasts every single week, covering a wide variety of controversial topics, as well as live stream Q&A sessions. Take a look on screen right now at some of the podcasts I've produced so far. For just $3 a month, the equivalent of about £2 a month, you get access to all my new podcasts and my entire back catalogue of past podcasts, including my popular Confessions of a Nightclub Bouncer series. You can listen on your computer or on your smartphone or tablet by downloading the Patreon app from the Google Play Store or the App Store for free. The Patreon app also allows you to download each podcast in MP3. For less than the price of a cup of coffee, you get access to dozens of hours of exclusive content. It's easy to sign up, there's no contract, and you can cancel at any time. So come and join our community of free and critical thinkers by signing up with me here on Patreon today.